Today I messed up by underperforming during first time with new GF. I, 22M, have known this girl, 22F, for several years now. We've been hanging out a lot lately, really taken a liking to each other and decided to give us a try. It was going really well with some insane chemistry both emotionally and physically, so we decided to get intimate with each other. We set up a date, discussed each other's preferences in bed and kinda went in. Problem is, she's a bit more experienced than me, so she didn't expect much from our first time. I did. I wanted to make her feel good. Add to that the fact I've been under a lot of stress lately, and you can see where the story's going. Come the day of the date, we're both in the mood and ready. The foreplay, she later tells me, goes really well, but then when we get to the act itself, I suddenly find it incredibly hard to keep myself erect. It all quickly becomes awkward. I finish, rather quickly, but my anxiety then starts to take over me, and instead of aftercare, which she, too, desperately needs, I just have a sort of an anxiety attack and stare blankly at the wall behind her. Never before had I had such problems with a girl. My GF tries to comfort me and tells me it's alright and that I don't need to feel ashamed about anything, and that it still was her best first time, but I just won't listen. That, in turn, kinda ruins the vibe for her and makes her overthink the situation, too. We spend the rest of the day just awkwardly hanging out. Come next day, we have a serious conversation. I tell her it wasn't her and that I still desire her and want her, and that it was just stress and anxiety. She says she doesn't like me any less because of what happened and wants to try again when I'm really ready. She encourages me to start seeing a therapist about my anxiety issues, which I did the other day. Everything seems fine now, and she's basically been a saint about that, but I just can't shake off the thought that I ruined an otherwise very good first time and made her doubt this still young relationship and be wary about having sex with me in general. I don't want my anxiety to take over me again. Today I messed up by meeting corporate with a sausage and a mess on my lap. I was sitting there with my buns on the floor. Today we had an unexpected visit from corporate at my office. Technically, we are not allowed to have food at our desks, however this is seen more as informal. Everyone, boss included, doesn't follow it. As long as we clean up after ourselves and are mindful of allergens, we are good. We just clean up when corporate visits. Normally a planned visit. So my boss is coming around quickly saying that they're in the parking lot. I guess I missed the memo earlier this morning when I was in the bathroom? Anyways, I'm sitting at my desk with the most gorgeous bratwurst sausage on a bun, extra sauerkraut. This was purchased from the local international market down the street. In a state of panic I think to myself, I'm not giving up my sausage at peak freshness and temperature. At this point, I'm halfway through. I begin to shove the beacon of lunch down my gullet. They're here now. Doing a tour, looks like my area will be last. I can do it. No. In my stupidity to rush eat, I choke on a piece of bun. Violently. I can breathe, it's just a tickle that won't stop. At this point my eyes are crying and face is red from all the coughing. I drop the wiener on my lap, sauerkraut everywhere, wetting my light khaki pants. The soft-baked buns explode and land on the floor in defeat. My boss and corporate come around the corner to see what's going on and I'm there still coughing, albeit much less. With evidence of my rebellion on, and in front of me. Sausage perfectly supported in the crevice of my thighs as I sat on my chair. All I could manage to say in a quiet, hoarse voice was, "Sorry." Non-emotional, painful tears streamed down my face as my companion through this battle betrayed me. The buns deserve to be on the floor. I swear I almost shit my pants. It couldn't get any worse in my mind. My career flashed before my eyes and I imagined myself shitting to top it off. I think they saw the extreme horror on my face. Luckily everyone burst out laughing, with a gentle reminder to not eat at our desks. I won't live this down, but it's definitely a story in my books I'll be retelling simply due to my sheer silliness. Today I messed up by inserting a nickel into the CD slot of my mother's Honda CR-V. My 25M, brother, 22M, and sister, 14F, were heading to a restaurant to celebrate my brother's graduation from college. He lives in the same state as me, but it's a 2-hour drive to visit. I'm sitting in the front seat, my siblings in the back. Mom's driving. Brother hands me a nickel from the back and jokingly says, "You should put this in Mom's CD player." Now, I want to walk you through my thought process. First thought, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Second thought, well, it probably wouldn't go in anyway, if there's already a CD in there. Third thought, there's a pretty quick way to find out whether or not there's already a CD in there. So, I inserted the nickel. There was not already a CD in there. The whole interaction took about 2 seconds. We all sat there in silence for about 5 seconds. Then, my brother asked, "Why the hell would you do that?" Fortunately, Mom doesn't play CDs anyway, so she didn't care too much. Today I messed up breaking myself on my husband's ass, twice. My husband has the most perfect butt you could ever imagine. I'm both jealous and in awe. He's definitely got more of an asset, haha, than me. As newlyweds, it's hard to keep our hands to ourselves, but I am the worst offender. Scenario 1, I was reading on the couch when he walked in from work. He walked past me, taking his coat off, with that beautiful rear right on eye level with me. Intrusive thoughts won and I leaned over and took a healthy chomp of his backside. It was a mistake. My poor husband, understandably startled, jumped about a foot in the air. My friends, jean pockets with rivets do not feel nice on teeth. A flash of pain, and an awful sound, and my tooth is broken. He turned around, horrified, as I clapped my hand to my mouth and mumbled unintelligible curses. Most people at this point would put 2 and 2 together and realize maybe taking more care with this perfect and dangerous ass would be wise. Unfortunately, I am not so wise. Scenario 2 occurred about 6 months after the tooth incident. Once again, he engaged in the very risky activity of walking past me while I'm sitting on the couch. I caught a glimpse of him from the corner of my eye, and was doomed. I leapt up off the couch, hand outstretched, reaching for a satisfying smack, when I felt the most horrible pain in my leg. I hobbled back to the couch, shocked and hurting, but it was too late. The scans later said I had a 3-inch tear in my calf muscle. I'll see you all in another 6 months with a new butt-related injury, because I'm not stopping. Today I messed up checking the wrong box for my new health card. This didn't happen today but fairly recently. I moved across the country and had to get new photo ID and health card for this province. I'm not sure what happened, but I guess in my rush to do the paperwork I checked the box for female instead of male. I didn't realize what had happened until a few months later when I got a letter in the mail saying it was time for my annual pap smear. My wife, friends and family all thought that was hilarious and said I should have called in for it and pretended to be ignorant for a laugh to see what their reaction was. I had been putting off going to get it fixed as it's hard for me to get days off during the week. I scheduled a vasectomy because the wife and I don't plan on having kids, and partway through the conversation the receptionist said there was an issue with my health card. I knew right away what it was and had to explain the situation. I have to go get my info fixed now before it can happen because it's covered by healthcare and would look kinda suspicious if they tried to say a female came in for a vasectomy. It would be funny if I was the reason they got audited.